Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I have another sit down video because I feel like that's all I ever do. But I am struggling today. A lot of you actually haven't mentioned this, but I lost my job a couple months ago. I was on FMLA for a little bit and then it didn't get approved, and after that, you kind of know what happens. I'm not guaranteed my job, so I've been just home a lot, and I've been doing like DoorDash and stuff to get some money, but when I was doing that today, I was kind of thinking like, that's not gonna be enough because I just got a new car and I have no idea how I'm gonna pay for it. So it's like super fun. So my husband's the only one working. And I tried to apply for other places, but I don't know. Just being pregnant is hard, especially when you're due in like 4 months. And it's like, I don't think it's that they don't want to hire me. I think it's that I'm gonna be hired and then I'm just gonna have to leave. So it's like, I get it. They want someone that's gonna be there long term. But today it's just been really hard on me because it's like, I want to help provide too and not have him just be the only one. I don't know. I think it's just the hormones. But anyways, I just thought I'd come on and tell you how I'm feeling. Kind of want to go to a Halloween store. Those usually cheer me up, but I don't know. I got the new drink, Mountain Dew. That's actually really good. But yeah, been looking for it everywhere. And yeah, that's just how I'm feeling though. My brain is still not working. Every time I turn on the camera, it's like, oh, what do you want to talk about? What is it that we're talking about? But yeah, I have an appointment on Friday. Hopefully I find out the gender, because like last time I didn't get to see the baby. I saw the baby, but I didn't see like below the belt area, like the anatomy part. So on Friday I'm doing the anatomy scan and hopefully finding out the gender. I am currently 22 weeks, which is exciting and fun. So yeah. Alright, so from the last clip, I wanted to clarify on some things just because I was watching it over and I skipped over a lot of details. I was just very emotional, so I just kind of like cooled down. I think I was just letting my emotions get to me, which Happens all the time. So I kind of got ready, put on some pants. But no, I wanted to clarify and just say that I don't blame my old employer for letting me go. I totally understand. It's kind of, I get it, it's not their fault. They have to do it. Since I didn't get FMLA, and we just barely started with that. Like, we never had FMLA, we never had maternity leave, which is weird. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify on that and say that I don't blame them. I'm not mad at them for firing me or letting me go. I get it. But I just feel, this is how I feel, very sad right now because I can't provide, and I just feel like I'm struggling and I'm stuck. So I told myself, 1 year on YouTube, let's just try it, see what happens. So I don't even know if anyone's gonna watch this or care, because I don't know. I just hope someone does and someone can relate to me. It'll just be really nice to know that I'm not alone. And I know a lot of people on YouTube have had difficult times in their life, and they got through it, and now they're successful. So I'm just hoping that would be me in a way, kind of projecting that out there. But I just really am struggling financially. I don't want to do DoorDash forever, and it doesn't even, I feel like I'm wasting gas just trying to do it. Like, I'm spending all that I make on gas because I'm just driving everywhere. But like today, I drove 18 minutes away just to make $7. Like, how is that even enough? Or how is that even, I don't know even what I'm trying to say. See, like I said, I'm getting my emotions in the way of my thinking. But having no job has sucked. Like, I've just been sitting home, making jewelry, doing DoorDash, trying to come up with something, some kind of income, but I just don't feel like it's enough. And I feel like I'm failing. So, yeah. I just wanted to come on and tell you that I don't blame them. I'm not going to mention their name because I respect them. And like I said, I don't hate them. I understand what they had to do. So, they've been super helpful. I've been working with them for like 4 years. But, like I said, the company itself has been super helpful. They even tried to get me a call center job at the same place. Just, it'll be at home, so I get to be a stay-at-home mom and be on the call center. But after they had done all they could do, I haven't heard back from the call center to even get a start date. Like, the HR manager at the place that I worked at previously told me that I had a start date on August 27th, but I never heard from the call center's HR manager or the managers there to confirm that I had a job there. So I'm like, kind of didn't feel like I did have a job. And when I was at the, what was it called? Gosh, my brain. What is it called? See, pregnancy brain. No. Interview. God dang it. When I was at the interview for the call center, they didn't seem like they wanted to hire me. And when they contacted the HR manager that I previously worked for and told them that sounded like I was trying to find a more of an office job, which was not the case at all, because I have experience in an office setting, because I was used to answering the phones and filing paperwork, and they kind of just wanted a background or like kind of an idea of what I did at the previous place. So I told them, this is what I did, this is what I was doing, and what I was comfortable with. And I was basically comfortable with what I was doing at the call center, because I was basically mainly answering the phone calls and greeting customers, and then I'd have some paperwork to file. And even on days like that, there were barely any paperwork. So I'd mainly be answering phone calls and assisting with customers. So for them to say that I was looking for more of an office type job was kind of silly, because I never once said that I wanted an office job. I specifically asked them what my position at the call center would mainly be, and they said answering phones. And I said, okay, I was already used to doing that. So I don't know, from them it didn't seem like they wanted to hire me. And they did know that I was pregnant. Like, I mentioned that I was. So it's like, my dilemma here is like, okay, it's not a dilemma. My thinking is that they don't want to hire pregnant women, because not that they don't want to, it's just that they want someone, like I said earlier, they want someone that's going to be there long term, rather than just only being there for a short amount of time and then they're going to be gone for another long period of time just to come back. Like, I get it. They want more of someone they can rely on, and I'm not that person, because I'm going to be giving birth and most likely staying home for a good majority of the time. So I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't hate the company that I worked for. I absolutely loved them and adore them and everyone in there. I love like the people who work there. I have family that work there. So I mean, like, everyone there was basically like family to me. Like, I am 100% like, I don't know what I'm talking about now. I think I'm just rambling. But yeah, I was supposed to have a job, basically. After I had got fired, like I said, it wasn't really fired, it was more like laid off. Same as, like, the only thing is, though, is I don't want to say that. I wasn't fond of the manager I was under anyways, because he always seemed to pick on me. I don't know if that would be the word, but like, he'd always say that I wasn't doing my job, and I always did my job, like 100%. And then, like, we hired a 19-year-old male as my partner, like, because I was doing calls and helping customers. There was like 2 of us. So after my previous partner left, they hired them, and then he started complaining about me, which is kind of weird because I was always doing my job, hardly ever on my phone. Like, the only thing I'd be on my phone for is like a podcast, and it'd be on super low, and I'd even stop, like, answer the phones, stop the video or the podcast, and answer the phones right away. Whereas the partner I had was terrible. Like, I don't know if you can relate, but like, he was always on his phone. He had AirPods in his ears all the time, never really talked to the customers, and hung up on the customers when they called. There'd be like multiple times where I would try to pick up the phone, but he'd picked it up and dropped it on the dial tone. Like, on the phone, not dial tone. Like, hang up on them. And it'd be like, are you serious? Like, your job is to answer the phone. So it was kind of annoying that him being terrible at his job, going and complaining to the manager because I wasn't answering the phones, was really immature. And like, he could have talked to me, you know, but I'm just glad that he ended up not working there. But after he stopped working there, I kind of lost that position, and they didn't even ask me if I wanted to be, I don't know. Okay. To make this less confusing, I worked at a dealership. I'm not going to say the dealership's name. Like I said, I respect them because I love the company. I just don't fully agree with half of the people in there. But the majority of the people in there I love, and I'm just out of breath. Half of the people in there I love and I consider family. And I actually do have actual family working there. So, I'm just going to keep it on the DL. But I worked for a dealership, and I was a cashier in the service department. And after my terrible partner quit, I ended up losing my job as a cashier. Without even them asking me, they kind of moved me to lot tech. And I was pregnant at the time, mind you. So like, I kind of wanted to object, but at the same time, like, I'm a very non-confrontational person. So I was like kind of confused at first, but I didn't want to say anything. Just because, yeah. Anyways, after about a week or so of being a lot tech, it was starting to get really hard on me, especially since I'm high risk. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I was pregnant. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, there's a fly, and it just totally took my thoughts with it, apparently. But no. After a week of working as a lot tech in the service department of this dealership, it started weighing on me. And that's when a lot of things kind of started happening. I've noticed a lot of like changes in my body. I know it could have just been the pregnancy, but I was getting more crampy, and that's not usually a good sign when you're pregnant, obviously. So I went in and I told them, hey, being a lot tech isn't gonna work. Can I go back to my old position, or can I get a new position somewhere else in the dealership? And they're like, well, we're not really hiring for any other position right now. It's either if being a lot tech isn't gonna work, then it's either that you stay or you're quitting, you're resigning basically. And that kind of made me mad, because it's like, you basically moved me without my consent or without me approving. Like, I don't even know if that's legal of what they did, because it was like a whole different position. Like, I was a desk job and sitting and answering phones to walking around everywhere, running back and forth, getting customers their vehicles. Like, that's a whole different job description than what I was originally given. So, like, I don't even know if that's legal where I'm at, but it kind of ticked me off a bit. Like, okay, I was just fine at the desk job. Like, why did you have to move me? Like, hello. But yeah, after that, I told them, no, I'll keep seeing if this will work, So I continued to be a lot tech. Well, 9 weeks go by. I'm 9 weeks pregnant, I should say. Not 9 weeks go by. Like, I'm 9 weeks pregnant, and I noticed some bleeding. And that was at like night. Like, this was like at around midnight at home. I woke up to the bleeding. So me and my husband, still kind of new. Me and my husband kind of went to the hospital, and I didn't want to think anything wrong. Like, I didn't want to think miscarriage right away, because, I don't know. I had a feeling that it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. Like, I shouldn't be bleeding, but I knew it wasn't bad. So we went to the hospital, and that's when they diagnosed me with the subchorionic hemorrhage. So after I got that, I started taking a little bit of self-care. Like, I took the whole day off. I went back the next day. I had a doctor's note, gave him the doctor's note. That way I wasn't in trouble for missing work. Or they couldn't give me a reason, like, oh, you missed work. Like, no, I had a reason. But the next couple days, like the next week, it was the next week, I was at work, and I go to the bathroom, and more blood comes out. And I'm like, okay, now it's kind of getting scarier, because the bleeding hasn't stopped, and they said it should at the emergency room. So I didn't want to leave the work. I didn't want to leave my job at the time, because I have already been missing so much work from being nauseous and just everything. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to give them a reason to fire me, So I took a break. I called my doctor, or the emergency room, and I told them what was going on. And they set me up with an appointment with my OB that week. Like, the soonest was like in 2 days during that week. And this was around like week 10. And I've been bleeding every week from 9 all the way up to 11. And then I kind of just like stopped. I didn't have any more bleeding. But I didn't want to give my job a reason to quit or to fire me. And I didn't want to quit. So I got the appointment with my OB. They told me if the bleeding doesn't stop, then go to the emergency room. But since it looked like it was it was more brown and thick. So they were thinking like, oh, it's not new. So if you see any fresh blood, then definitely go to the emergency room. But it looked old. So I was like, okay. My husband saw me. I was a little distraught just because, again, I'm bleeding and I'm pregnant and that's not good. So he saw me and he's like, are you okay? What's wrong? Why are you sad? And I told him, like, there's some blood, like, I'm bleeding again. And he's like, okay, well, let's go to the emergency room. And I told him, no, I just got off the phone with the doctor, and they told me that if I'm continue bleeding, then I need to go. But from the sound of what I was describing that came out of my body, it wasn't fresh. So I'm okay. He's like, I don't want to risk that. Let's just go. I want to go talk to an actual doctor. So I'm like, I don't want to leave work because I don't want to give them the reason to fire me. He's like, you'll be fine. It's fine. And I'm like, I'm not going to go talk to the manager. You can go talk, because he works at the same place as me. So he's like, you can go talk to the manager, but I'm not leaving. And so he's like, seriously? And so he goes to our manager and he tells them that he's going to take me to the doctors. And I'm like, thanks. Like, I don't want to leave. He's like, I'd rather have my baby be safe. Like, me and the actual baby be safe. And not risk anything. I was like, okay, fine. So he already got the okay from the managers, got in the car, confirmed it was the subchorionic hemorrhage, bleeding more. They told me to relax, take a couple days off. I'm like, great. So I got a doctor's note for missing half of the day at work and the following few days of missing work. So after that, I go back to work. And I feel so bad because as being a lot tech, there's 4 other people or 3 other people, and no, there's 4. Yeah, there was 4 other people. There were 5 people total, including me. So, sorry, I just had to think about that for a minute. But, I've been missing so much work that they had been doing so much. So it's like, I'm sorry. Everyone's like, it's fine, you're good. I threw up once at that place. And apparently one of my lot tech coworkers heard me. It was awkward. But after that, I feel like that's when they started like hating on me more, or being harder on me. There we go. They were being a little harder on me because of that. And like I said, I had missed multiple days, or a lot of days, because of nausea in the last end of my first trimester. So after that, I kind of wanted to do better. So I went in the office again because I noticed they had the cashier position that I had just been at available. So I went to the manager and I told him I feel like it'd be better if I was a cashier. And he's like, I don't think that would be a good idea because you've been missing a lot of work. Mind you, I haven't missed a single day or hardly a single day being a cashier than I have as a law tech, which I find unfair that he's comparing me that he was comparing me to the work that I was doing as a law tech than as being a cashier. Because if you looked at my attendance record being a cashier, I was probably about a 90% because I barely missed any days. I was fine. I feel like it's just because my body wasn't used to walking around and doing all of the stuff that they wanted me to do. It was taking a big toll on my body. And that it's not fair for them to just say, "Okay, your attendance is poor because you're pregnant in the heat." Like, I was working in 90-degree weather. Like, I get it. A lot of men and women, I applaud you for working in that heat or in the cold. That's not for everyone, and I know that. And I appreciate you guys who do it. But like I said, with me being pregnant and with the disorder that I have, I don't think it was good on my body. And so I don't think he kind of took that into consideration. So he just said, no, it's not a good idea that you become a cashier again because of your attendance. Whereas if you stayed as a lot tech, you'd have 4 other people to cover your shift, whereas you'd only have 1. But I feel like if I was to be the cashier at that moment, I would have never missed a day of work because I'd be in controlled weather or like the controlled heating area. I wouldn't be so hot and nauseous all the time because I'm not in the heat. Heat definitely made me feel more sick. And walking around didn't help because I was in the heat feeling so sick. So I feel like if I was just back at the desk where I first started, I would have been 100 times better. I would have never, or not never, you can't say never when you're pregnant, things are unpredictable. But I feel like that I would have missed less work and not be stressing over the bleeding because it probably would have lightened up a lot more at the desk job than just continuing what I was doing and sitting. And instead of walking, the bleeding probably would have never even occurred again after I got the job. But again, like I said, you couldn't tell. But I'm just rambling on about my job. Like I said, I don't hate the company. I just don't agree with what they were doing and how they treated me. Mainly service. It was service that was when things kind of went bad. But when I was working in sales for the first year, I loved it. Loved the salesmen there. They were great. Very, very amazing people at that dealership. I just wish that they could have helped a little bit more. But like I said, near the ending, the HR manager there was super helpful. And she even contacted the call center for me. But like I said, I didn't hear from them. It was more hearsay. And if I showed up, who knows? They might have been like, yeah, we don't know who you are. So, I don't know. I was kind of already over working at the dealership, mainly because of service. So, that is my story of working at my job and why I'm feeling so crappy. If you have any stories similar to this, or if you can relate, comment down below. I would love to hear your stories on your worst job or just any job that you had. You can have some fun with this. So, yeah, thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, I don't know if you have. Literally just another sit down video because I am still new at this. I don't know what else to do. If you guys have also, if you have any recommendations on what you want me to do or anything, I'm thinking of doing pregnancy craving videos, like trying pregnancy craving foods with possibly my husband, maybe. If not, it might just be me. So yeah, I don't know. Just give me some ideas. I am open to anything. Thank you for talking with me.